Hey EMbers, welcome back to the channel. So as we are in the midst of spooky season, I thought I would do a video on my top 5 horror games, or more accurately, because some of these aren't actually horrors, the top 5 scariest games I've ever played. Now, I will preface this by saying I am an absolute wimp when it comes to horrors. I like horror films because I like the storyline and the intricacies involved in horrors, but I'm just terrified of them. The same goes for horror games. I think horror games have some of the best storylines in video gaming, but I am just an absolute wimp, I really am. So I appreciate that this is probably going to be a tame list for you guys who love horror games. I had to, of course, put a Resident Evil game here, and I was thinking which game scared me the most, and I had to go with the original Resident Evil because I played that probably far younger than I was supposed to play that, if I'm honest. And again, I've said it many times on this channel, but I think one of the most iconic scenes in video gaming history actually is going down that corridor and you think you're safe and there's nothing in the corridor and it's fine, and then those dogs through the windows. I've mentioned it so many times. Yes, that terrified me as a kid, and I still tense up now thinking about it and thinking about playing it. I still freak out now. It really could have been any one of them. I mean, let me know if you are a Resident Evil player what you think is the scariest game in the franchise. The second game that I believe is one of the scariest games I've ever played is Fatal Frame. I played this with my friend. She loves all horror games. She's a massive horror game player. So typically I'll just sit next to her and watch her play them. I don't often play them myself, but Fatal Frame, the concept of a game, a horror game where you cannot fight and all you have is a camera and you have to take pictures of these things and it's the camera flash that scares them away. The concept of that is just absolutely fantastic, isn't it? What an incredible concept. And it absolutely terrifies me. So definitely Fatal Frame. Coming in at number 3 is a cheat, a massive cheat actually. I'm going to put Kudelka here. It's not necessarily a horror game. It definitely has strong horror, Lovecraftian elements. I'm not mentioned on this channel, but I am a big Lovecraft fan as well. Not surprising. And I haven't played it. So why would I possibly put this in a top 5 scariest games if I've never played it? But I have watched so many Let's Plays here on YouTube and I find it scary, the concept of it. So I have played, of course, I've spoke about them many times, the Shadow Hearts games. Kudelka's sort of a precursor to that, you would say. And they're not horror games, but the first Shadow Hearts still has moments where it's scary, it's freaky, it's really bizarre. And so, of course, the setting of a mental hospital as well, I find absolutely terrifying. I love films that are set in asylums and things like that. The setting of Kudelka, and of course, we revisit the hospital in Shadow Hearts, I absolutely love, and I find that absolutely terrifying. So yes, bit of a cheat, I haven't actually played the game, but from watching Let's Plays, I've researched so much about it. When I do finally play it, which I hope will be soon, it will definitely feature in this list. So the next game, again, is not necessarily a horror game. It's actually Mystery Case Files Return to Ravenhurst. So it is basically a hidden objects game. Now, I've mentioned again on this channel that I love the Mystery Case Files series. I am currently doing a mini-series here on this channel about collecting all the Mystery Case Files games. Now, Return to Ravenhurst, I picked that one over the first Ravenhurst because it's not the game that I find scary. It was the first game to introduce live action actors, and the actors that they picked are so creepy. They're really creepy. The guy, what's his name? Victor, the son. The guy that they picked to play Victor is just perfect. Like, so scary, so creepy. You would not want to meet that man. You would not want to meet that man, and it's just perfect. So is it a scary game? Not really. There are certain like little jump scares in it because obviously you're right near your laptop trying to find the hidden objects, and then it'll just, get you. and like I say, I am an absolute scaredy cat, so yes, that does work on me. And the final game on this list is probably not a surprise to people who play horrors. The first Left 4 Dead. I remember I didn't know anything about Left 4 Dead. This was when I was a teenager. I'd have been about 14 or 15, and someone was playing Left 4 Dead in their house that I knew. Again, I knew nothing about the game, and there was a little girl, or what I thought was a little girl, crying. And I said, we should go and save this little girl who I hear crying. My friend, yeah, go on, off you go, gave me the controller. As you know, if you've played Left 4 Dead, this is not a little girl crying, and I absolutely I nearly wet myself, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know what they call them, the witches, the banshees, what do they call them in that game? My God, nobody told me that this thing was gonna look at me and chase me. And I was 14. I was terrified. I have not picked up a Left 4 Dead game in years, and I don't know if I even would. But yeah, that is a core gaming memory for me, and I'll never forget it. But that's it, just a short and sweet video for, like I say, the spooky season. My top 5, technically, favourite horrors, my scariest moments in gaming. So let me know, what is your scariest moment in gaming? Are you a horror fan? What's your favourite horror games? Let's talk all about it. So thank you very much for watching, and until next time, bye Embers.